October 26, 2016, Phoenix, Arizona. A 911 dispatcher named Rebecca answers her headset at 11:47 p.m. Before she can finish saying 911, "What's your emergency?" another call stacks, then another, then 5 more simultaneously. Within 4 minutes, her entire call center is overwhelmed. Every line ringing at once. Real emergencies, heart attacks, car accidents, house fires can't get through. The system handling life and death calls for 4 million people is collapsing in real time. Police scramble to find a terrorist attack. Federal agencies assume coordinated infrastructure assault. The truth is more shocking than anyone imagines. The person responsible is an 18-year-old sitting in his bedroom in Maricopa County wearing a hoodie, watching Twitter notifications explode on his phone. He didn't plant a bomb. He didn't hack government servers. Then he wrote 36 lines of code. How does a teenager accidentally bring down emergency services across 3 states? Meetkumar Desai is 18 years old in October 2016. He lives with his parents in Maricopa County, Arizona, a sprawling suburban landscape of strip malls, subdivisions, and endless desert highways. He's a quiet kid who discovered computers at age 11 and never looked back. By high school, Meetkumar is consuming everything about programming and cybersecurity. He watches hacker conference videos on YouTube at 2 a.m. But talent without recognition is frustrating. Meetkumar exists in a world where hacking skill is respected currency. He wants to change that. Not through destructive hacking or stealing money. He's not that kind of person. He wants to find something clever. In early October 2016, Meetkumar starts researching iOS vulnerabilities. Apple's iPhone operating system is the holy grail of security research. Finding genuine iOS bugs makes careers. Companies pay millions in bug bounties. Security researchers become legends. Meetkumar starts examining how iOS handles specific types of URLs, web addresses, that trigger automatic phone functions. He discovers something interesting. iOS has built-in protocols for handling telephone links. When a web page contains a properly formatted phone number link, iPhones ask users if they want to call that number. It's a convenience feature. Tap a restaurant's phone number on their website, and it automatically offers to call them. But Meetkumar discovers the system has a flaw. If you format the URL in a specific way using JavaScript, the iPhone doesn't ask permission. It just starts dialing automatically. And if you put it in a loop that repeats continuously, the phone keeps calling the same number over and over, unable to stop unless you force close the browser completely. Most developers who discovered this flaw would do one of 2 things: report it to Apple's bug bounty program for a cash reward, or quietly document it for legitimate security research. Meetkumar considers these options. He's young, impatient, and wants recognition now, not weeks later after a quiet bug report nobody sees. He decides to demonstrate the bug publicly, prove it works, show the hacking community he found something real. But he makes a catastrophic decision about which phone number to put in his loop. The code Meetkumar writes is genuinely elegant in the way all dangerous, simple things are elegant. It's not sophisticated malware requiring months of development. It's not a complex exploit chain attacking multiple systems simultaneously. It's 36 lines of JavaScript that exploit one specific iPhone behavior. Here's how it works. Meetkumar creates a web page containing JavaScript code that automatically executes when someone opens it. The code formats a telephone link pointing to 911, America's universal emergency number. But instead of displaying a "Do you want to call this number?" prompt, the malformed URL bypasses iOS's permission system entirely. The phone starts dialing immediately. Then comes the loop. After the call initiates, the code refreshes the page and starts again. The iPhone is trapped in a cycle, calling 911, hanging up, calling 911, hanging up continuously until the user forces the browser closed. On some iPhone models, the cycling happens so rapidly that users can't navigate away from the page fast enough to stop it. Meetkumar tests the code on his own phone. It works exactly as designed. His iPhone starts frantically dialing. He ends the test quickly and feels the rush of confirmation. He's found a real, reproducible iOS vulnerability. He gives it a name. He formats it as a shareable link. He writes a brief explanation of the technical discovery. Then, he opens Twitter. What Meetkumar posts is essentially, found an iOS bug that forces iPhones to call any number automatically. Here's a demo link. In hacking communities, sharing proof-of-concept demonstrations is standard practice. You prove the vulnerability is real by showing it working. Researchers do this constantly, but researchers typically demonstrate with harmless test numbers, their own phone, a voicemail system, a test line that goes nowhere. Meetkumar uses 911. He tells himself it's fine. Nobody will actually click a link that obviously calls 911 repeatedly. People will see the technical demonstration and understand it's about the iOS vulnerability, not actually calling emergency services. The hacking community will recognize the research value immediately. At 11:43 p.m., he hits post. The tweet goes out to his modest following. At first, nothing dramatic happens. A few replies from people who recognize the iOS exploit. Some retweets from security-focused accounts. Meetkumar watches his notifications with satisfaction. People are noticing. People are talking about his discovery. Then someone with a large following retweets it. Then that retweet gets retweeted. The link starts spreading exponentially through Twitter's network. People are clicking not because they understand what it does, but because it says iPhone bug demo, and curiosity is universal. In 911 call centers across Arizona, the lines start ringing. 11:47 p.m., Maricopa County Emergency Communications Center. Rebecca has worked dispatch for 11 years and has never seen anything like what's happening on her board right now. Calls are stacking faster than her team can answer them. She picks up one line, heavy breathing, no words, then disconnection. She picks up another. Same thing, another. Silence, then hang up. Within 3 minutes of Meetkumar's link going viral, the Maricopa County 911 Center receives over 100 calls. Within 10 minutes, that number climbs toward 300. The calls have an identical signature. They connect. Stay open for a few seconds with confused or panicked phone owners trying to figure out why their phone is calling 911, then disconnect when the loop restarts. The dispatchers don't know what's happening. Their training covers mass casualty events, technical failures, severe weather. Nothing prepares them for hundreds of simultaneous calls that aren't emergencies but are consuming every available line. Supervisor Daniel Martinez pulls up the incoming call data and immediately recognizes a pattern. Almost every call is coming from iPhone numbers, and almost every call is disconnecting after 3 to 5 seconds before anyone speaks. Meanwhile, real emergencies are dying in the queue. A 67-year-old man in Scottsdale having chest pains calls 911 and waits on hold, something that should be impossible. Ihara mother in Mesa, whose toddler has swallowed something, calls and can't get through immediately. A driver who just witnessed a serious accident on I-10 gets a busy signal on the first attempt. The system isn't completely down, it's drowning. The difference matters enormously. A completely offline system would trigger automatic backup protocols. A system drowning in fake calls looks operational, while failing at its core function. Daniel escalates immediately. His supervisor calls the county sheriff's office. The sheriff's office calls the FBI's cyber division. Federal agents assume the worst. Coordinated terrorist attack on emergency infrastructure. Analysts start checking for simultaneous attacks on other systems, power grids, water systems, communications networks. The attack is expanding geographically. As Meetkumar's link travels across Twitter into Texas and California, 911 centers in those states start receiving similar call floods. Dallas dispatchers report unusual iPhone call volumes. Los Angeles County Emergency Services logs show spikes in hang-up calls matching the Arizona pattern. 3 states. Hundreds of fake emergency calls. Real emergencies being delayed. Federal agencies mobilizing. All because a teenager posted a link. At his home in Maricopa County, Meetkumar is watching his Twitter notifications explode with a feeling that has shifted from excitement to cold dread. His mentions are filling with panicked messages. Your link is calling 911 on my phone and I can't stop it. This is crashing the emergency system. What did you do? He stares at his screen, hands frozen over his keyboard. By midnight, a FBI cybercrime analysts in Phoenix have the link Meetkumar posted. It takes them approximately 11 minutes to read the code, understand exactly what it does, and trace the Twitter account back to a real identity. Federal investigations of sophisticated cyber attacks take months. Identifying Meetkumar Desai takes less than an hour. His Twitter account is connected to his real name. His real name connects to an address in Maricopa County. By 1:15 a.m., federal agents and local police are outside his house. The arrest is simultaneously dramatic and anticlimactic. Meetkumar is still awake, still watching his phone, already panicking about what he's caused. When agents knock on the door, he doesn't run. He doesn't attempt to destroy evidence. He opens the door looking like exactly what he is, a teenager who made a catastrophic mistake and knows it. During the initial interview, Meetkumar cooperates completely. He explains the iOS vulnerability he discovered, how the code works, why he decided to post it publicly. He insists repeatedly that he didn't think people would actually click it, that he didn't understand how fast it would spread, that he never intended to endanger anyone. Investigators verify his story quickly. His computer shows no evidence of financial motivation. He wasn't paid by anyone. His communications show no coordination with other hackers or criminal organizations. His code, while genuinely dangerous, isn't sophisticated enough to suggest professional training. The technical assessment is clear. Meetkumar found a real iOS vulnerability through legitimate research. Apple confirms the exploit is genuine and begins emergency patch development immediately. The vulnerability is assigned an official CVE number, the identifier system used for formally documented security flaws, validating that Meetkumar's discovery was technically significant. None of this matters legally. The damage is documented and serious. Maricopa County officials report 318 dropped 911 calls directly attributable to the attack. Emergency coordinators calculate that response times for legitimate calls increased by an average of 4 minutes during the peak period. 4 minutes is an eternity when someone is having a heart attack. Meetkumar is charged with felony computer tampering. The charge carries potential prison time serious enough to destroy his future permanently. His parents hire an attorney. The case enters the Arizona court system. The legal process takes months. Prosecutors argue Meetkumar knowingly created and distributed dangerous code that attacked critical emergency infrastructure. His intent doesn't matter, the result does. Real people couldn't reach 911 during a genuine emergency window. That's not a prank. That's a public safety crisis. Defense attorneys counter that Meetkumar disclosed a genuine security vulnerability that Apple needed to fix. Without his public demonstration, the iOS bug might have gone unpatched, leaving it available for genuinely malicious hackers to exploit. They argue the bug bounty system, where companies pay researchers to find security flaws, should have been how this ended, not criminal prosecution. Both arguments have merit, and the tension between them exposes something important about cybersecurity law's fundamental problem. It was written before the modern security research community existed. Laws criminalizing unauthorized computer access don't distinguish well between malicious attackers and clumsy researchers. The same action, exploiting a vulnerability and demonstrating it publicly, can be heroic or criminal, depending entirely on intent and outcome. Meetkumar ultimately receives probation, no prison time. The judge considers his age, cooperation, lack of criminal history, and the absence of financial motivation. The felony charges create a permanent record that will complicate his future, but he avoids incarceration. Apple patches the iOS vulnerability within weeks of the incident. The fix is included in iOS 10.1 and addresses the automatic call initiation flaw Meetkumar discovered. Security researchers credit the fix as meaningful. The vulnerability was genuine, and without the very public demonstration of its danger, Apple's timeline for addressing it might have been significantly slower. Arizona's Maricopa County uses the incident to advocate for federal investment in more resilient 911 infrastructure. Current systems weren't designed to handle coordinated call floods, a weakness that malicious attackers could exploit far more dangerously than Meetkumar did. His accidental attack reveals a real infrastructure vulnerability that goes beyond his iOS discovery. The hacking community's reaction is complicated. Some researchers are critical of Meetkumar's decision to use 911 as his demonstration number, a choice they consider inexcusably reckless regardless of intent. Others argue his prosecution discourages legitimate security research by criminalizing public disclosure. Meetkumar Desai wanted his name known in hacking circles. He got that. security researchers still reference the Arizona 911 attack in discussions about responsible disclosure, the ethical framework governing how discovered vulnerabilities should be reported. His case is a textbook example of what not to do, taught in cybersecurity courses at universities across America. But buried in this story is something more important than one teenager's mistake. Meetkumar's accidental attack revealed that America's emergency infrastructure, the system people call when they're dying, can be overwhelmed by 36 lines of code posted on social media. Not by nation-state hackers with unlimited resources, not by sophisticated criminal organizations, by a teenager trying to impress strangers on Twitter. That vulnerability exists because 911 systems were designed before smartphones, before social media, before the possibility that millions of people could simultaneously be manipulated into making emergency calls. The infrastructure protecting American lives runs on technology that hasn't fundamentally changed since the 1960s. Meetkumar found that weakness accidentally while trying to get famous. The scarier question is, who else has found it deliberately, and what are they waiting for?